What's up, everybody? Welcome. welcome. Glad to have y'all. Yo, we got it ready for you today. We got Lamar. We got Shaka. We got great weather in Phoenix with rain and clouds. Speaking of which, giving a quick shout out to Black Steel Fitness. You know what it is. 3912 East Camelback Road in the heart of Arcadia here in Phoenix, Arizona. You know what's going down. I got my man Lamar here ready to train you up. I got my man JR in the other room ready to train you up. Erica just left. She ready to train you up. Charles is ready to train you up. You can come in here and take classes with Liam. You can come in here and take classes with Richard. You can come in here and take classes with Lisa or Jen. You can come in here and just get your workout on with Open Gym. Whatever you need, come on down to Black Steel Fitness. We get you right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah.
I can't follow that. That's a
You don't want to follow that. You don't
Yeah.
want to follow that because he all up in them.
He's going to till he loses.
You don't want to go. He go up in them deep.
No, after me.
yeah.
That's the signature.
Yeah,
man.
you gotta go. That's the one
that's
that
like
you don't
putting
follow.
a period on it.
That's the one you don't follow.
Pause.
What you have on your mind, Shaka? I know you had something on your mind today.
Yeah,
I
the
can tell
number
when
of
you have
things.
something. I can tell.
A number of things.
I can tell.
There's so much stuff going on right now. You got another missing teenager and out with his buddies,
Yep.
and they left him wherever he was, and he ended up being found dead. And there's a big storm over it right now because these guys are trying to figure out what they did to him.
Yeah.
And
That's wild, man.
parents retrieved a cell phone from them. They had his cell phone, and there were deleted messages off the phone. Eyewitness accounts said that they were arguing beforehand. And
If you're arguing before, you can't go.
Yeah.
what they were, wherever they were, it was some
Before
little
they left.
island, some kind of little island off.
Yeah.
They were water sports are playing,
Yeah.
a little whatever. And
In
he washed
Dallas?
up. No.
This is the Mississippi one, right?
That's the Mississippi one. But the other one is water related too,
Yeah.
and with the similar circumstances,
Dang, man.
So they got
Rest
they're
in
charging
peace,
the second cat. They're charging him with obstruction of justice or evidence tampering.
Yeah.
Because he had a cell phone and some other whatever else we don't know is going
Right.
on.
Man, bless their souls, man. Bless their spirits.
So from the racial standpoint, all the white folks are mad because they're saying that, the black people are making it racial,
Yep.
and one of the kids' mother is a judge, and it's Mississippi, so they're doing what Mississippi do, covering stuff up, and so. Yeah,
Man, rest in peace, man. I don't like to hear that.
you just gotta be you gotta have your head on a swivel. And I know it's hard to tell. We were talking about that. About the younger black kids who are growing up. They feel like they're growing up in a post,
Yeah.
racial world.
Yeah.
And at the very least, their heads are not on a swivel.
Yeah. That's a different game. And to a lot of extents it is. They are growing up in a post-racial. They see the mixture. They're growing up in the neighborhood. They've been with these guys for a long time. It's hard to say that. Now, but then we know as elders, like, what my mom used to say, baby, they always gonna turn white. She used to say that, like, watch your shit. Watch what you're doing, because at certain point, they're like, and they.
Yeah, but how do you? And because I can't see Gen X or Gen Z or Gen Z really trying to instill that for the most part in the millennials' head, because that separation, that realization came to us starting our time.
I think millennials actually get that
So the further
more.
we get away from it, my point is, the further we get away from it, the less pressed we are about sitting down and having a conversation to our kids.
And also I think it's depends on where you are and what your maybe socioeconomic level, like how you having that talk. What was are you the first ones in suburbia, or are you second generation suburbia? Second generation suburbia might not get the talk that first generation did.
You're saying the same thing I'm saying, but
yeah.
you're saying it differently.
Yeah.
So that generation, which is Gen X to Gen Z to the millennials.
Well,
right?
millennial before Gen Z.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got you, man. That's a, yeah.
Get all that shit.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah.
And
So,
then the alpha,
yeah.
So they're just not getting into the same. And I think you know what happens. I think they get a little later
Because I think
life
some people,
turns you into like you don't want to be that, and then all of a sudden it's like it hits you, and you're like, oh,
yeah, but let's not get it twisted though. There are certain people who feel like they rather swing in certain circles. Well, I'm not saying that anything is wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think that just old school thinking, there are people who will invite you in the circle as a joke.
yeah.
That's what I mean by your head being on a swivel
Yeah.
and being able to think and process these things. Like when or if the jokes happen, or if some little funny things start happening, you kind of tune into it and know exactly who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because even among the same groups of people, that happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You gotta know how to lead.
You say, look at this idiot over here. Let's take him to the lake. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and the whole time you're making fun of him, whatever.
Like,
so that's something that, number one, probably a lot of kids do.
Yeah.
But you put that other element on top of it. Now you really got to be, because just because you with 4 guys that are not black and they're all cool, rest assured, one of them ain't.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or one of them is getting that talk from a parent
Right.
who ain't on that.
Right.
So that's just my thought about it.
How strong are you to say, no, I can't hang with you fellas, or how, you know, like it's a different game now, but it's the same game, but it's just it appears different. It shows itself in a different.
Yeah.
You know, until it happens, it shows itself.
Yeah,
It's
but then-
more
but see,
subtle.
that's the problem, though, when it happens.
It's not presenting immediately because it's almost like the kids have never been in that experience, right? So how are they going to be able to identify it until
Right.
it's done and over with?
I can
Seeing
accept
it from
that.
an outside perspective.
I can accept that, but I don't, being a kid myself at one time, I don't fully buy into that, because you're still living the life of a high schooler, middle schooler, you know, junior, and sophomore college. There's all kind of dynamics at play that you're learning. Everybody ain't cool.
Yeah.
Regardless. So I think that some people, and no shade, and I'm not saying nothing negative about it, they kind of think that the social circles are better on the other side or with another group other than their own group. I mean, heck, I hear adults say that all the time. Don't hang around them niggas, you know, you find you a good, you know. And I'm not challenging their thought on that, because I've evolved to the fact that, you know, people move the way they want to move. I'm just saying that you have that little element of, okay, what's really going on here? You can't be all geek and stoked to be around certain groups and let that overcloud your judgment about things you see.
Yeah, but I feel, you know, some of those
And that
kids
might be too heavy for a 17-year-old.
No,
I don't know.
but sometimes those 17-year-olds, like when you talk about schools out here, that is your group. There is not much of another group. Right. And if it might be a group that looks like you might be shunned from them because you don't quite roll with them. Hey, what if this group here is a little bit more harder or whatever, and you come from this neighborhood here and you've been hanging with Preston and them all your life?
That's true.
So
yeah,
it ain't that you don't want to hang with them. It's that I really ain't got nothing in common. I can't go that way. Y'all don't even like me.
Yeah.
These guys, we at least know each other and we ride the bus. We neighbor, you know. Yeah. So I think that's the same. In that instance, it's the same dynamic on both sides. Because I'm a little more negative about that than most people. Okay.
Because, yeah, you say I identify with these cats because they into Pokemon and they're into Warcraft and all that kind of stuff, but you're the joke in the group is what I'm saying.
Right.
And some people are kids and adults too are insidious. They'll play with you, hang out with you, or whatever, but you're kind of like you ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And if
so
you got that feeling,
if you all wide out and bushy tail because we like the same.
You're just that token person of the group. Right?
Yeah.
Well, no. What the thing is this? Like the case of these last 2 cases here, they ended up dead. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Now, we don't know. We don't know if these kids had anything to do with it. It's very suspicious. They move very, very suspect. So something they knew.
Yeah.
And the black guy didn't come back.
Yeah. Like what?
Now, you can say with 4 people, you have 1 in 4 chance that it's you, right?
Right.
I mean, it could be any one of them. But come on.
Yeah,
And it's
no.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know, it's the South.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just put that together. I've seen kids come home crying, just, and you're just like, you're not even 13 yet and you're dealing with this. Of course, it's another kid that don't know what they're talking about, but they heard something.
Right.
They're being indoctrinated at home or in other groups.
Yeah.
And when kids fall out, certain things start manifesting that you find out who your place is in the group really.
Yeah.
It's
But
kinda like
that
at
kid
the
is
adult level, too.
devastated. The kid is devastated.
Yeah.
They're coming home and you have to try to pick them back up from that.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm sorry.
No,
I
you're good.
defer to the gentleman in the middle.
What's the question? I can't disagree with what you're saying. You know, I think a lot of it is.
He's on his diddler. Go ahead, man. Why you look at me like that, man?
I'd say it comes down to, I would say definitely parenting, and if you don't have a strong household of parents in there, these kids are not going to know those things, right? You're going to find.
But what if your parents, and that's why I was getting at about the generational thing, the further we get away from it, what if your parents are running, and I use that loosely, running away from that too?
Running away or
Like,
just
you know,
offering
like
a
you
better
said
life
earlier,
for their
like
kid.
but see, to me, better life don't mean that you have to just, I get that. We all want better
But
life.
part of the better life is sometimes you're just not going to talk about those things.
But
because you're hoping that you put them in better positions in terms of better schools, grade schools, better high schools, to where a lot of that stuff is less prevalent. Not to say it's not happening, but less prevalent. So parents don't have to worry.
Yeah,
right?
but kids,
it's
I
kind of
feel
like
like
they
kids
move to
are-
a better community, so they don't have to worry about looking out their window or locking their door right away or windows and stuff like
No,
that.
I get the crime part.
Well,
but
it's
I
not
just,
about the crime. It's about living differently.
Or
if that makes
perceived
sense.
problems.
There you
Perceived
go.
problems. So
Thank
you might be like, I need to go here because I want my kid not to have this problem. I had this problem. I had this problem. I had this problem. If I can adjust this and my kid don't have these problems, they can move a little further ahead. So it don't necessarily mean like I'm trying to get away. I see a certain situation that gave me a lot of challenge, and I don't want that challenge for my kid.
I can understand
And
that
so
part.
you make your moves
Yeah.
there, and it doesn't click that this is a different challenge until it happens. You know, I think it was fortunate for me that my, I guess, integration and whatever in school happened in elementary school. So things like I learned the nuances very early, like just in the intonation. Y'all hear me change. Hi guys, I'm Todd P. Schuler. You know, y'all know the voice changes. It's because I learned the tones and things as a young guy. I also learned with grouping, you know, like I was black and I was poor compared to the kids. So I already knew. And then my parents was like, as a kid, baby, yeah, I know you trying to hang here and we want this. Remember X, Y, and Z. Remember, you black. Remember, they gonna turn white. Remember, you ain't doing this stuff. When I went to middle school and high school, I actually went to historical black middle school and high school. So I didn't even have, mine now was going through our own people. So it wasn't, you know, learning what works here. And then I guess when I got back out as an adult, I moved, and then like now we're here and I got a different business in life. And so now I'm in Phoenix, and it kind of rolls like elementary. I didn't have those problems in high school where it's very volatile. It was elementary and then it was adulthood.
Yeah.
So I think the talks were early enough that they stuck with me throughout life. And when I came back to it, I was old enough to make decisions and really see what's happening. Who am I hanging with? Who are you? Yeah, okay, I don't like this one. I'm about to dip, y'all. You know, so I was able to make adult decisions.
That's the sweet spot, right? That's what I'm talking about right there, because I'm of the belief that, and I know I've heard this many times, you know, I went to an all-white school. I never had a problem, this and that. And I know that's not what you're saying, but I've heard that. The point I'm making about it is that, yes, you want your kids to live in a better neighborhood, better resources and things like that. that has nothing to do with how people perceive you in that world. I mean, my mom and dad, they're middle class, or they may not even be middle class at all. They're just scraping every penny they can to live in a better place. You know what I'm saying? And they have me go to, I know a lot of poor kids that went to private school in New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, their parents, they ain't had money like that. They were hardworking people, but that was their priority.
Yeah, I got to get
know
you
what
this
I'm saying?
education.
Yeah, so
We
it
wanna
wasn't like
get
they
you
were
here.
affluent. They would just work, grinding, busting their behind so they can go to this school.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
going to give you a better
You know,
chance.
grade school.
Your
stuff
opportunity
like
is going to
that,
be better.
And my first educational experience was in an integrated school.
Okay.
I was in an integrated school back in, but I went to an integrated school. So my first introduction with
1960s.
in school was
Damn, he was in the first group.
He was right
my
behind
first
that little girl.
integrated. Can I finish my story?
He just didn't show his face. She cute. Let's show her.
It was like with a
Right
mixed,
outside the frame.
it was with a mixed group.
Look, sit there.
I'm sorry, I'm listening.
Anyway, it was with a mixed group. But now in my community, in my neighborhood, it was like not a lot. It was all the old white people that stayed back behind.
Yeah. You sound like my
Tired and shit.
I had the one family up the
The
street.
white-
The little girl liked me, and their parents was like, "Y'all can't play together no more."
Nope.
She went.
But
You can't go down the street.
It's
girl.
like, I
But
ain't
that's
want you
that
no way.
thing. That's that thing that's them from back in slavery.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
all the kids played together on the plantation and whatever. White kids.
Yeah.
But when you became a certain age,
You had to split up.
or and like among males, when the males started going around junior high school, that's when the social circle started splitting.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the
Better not
little white kids
Susie.
been playing with since 3 years old.
Yeah.
Ain't
Can't play
you
with
know
them no
calling,
Can't play with them
calling
no
you
more.
nigger and shit.
Yeah,
You know,
because they gotta, because and
Nobody
it's
in their
sad
cir-
because they
they're in their
gotta,
circle.
they gotta perform too.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do it, but if I don't,
Yeah.
they gonna kick my ass.
Yeah.
So-
Nigga,
right.
nigga.
So I'm just
I'm
saying.
sorry,
like,
dog.
Beat you to it.
So I'm just saying that you have
Yeah.
to be aware, and
Yeah.
even if you're in a different community, that doesn't mean the mindset is different.
Where's
from
that
them.
awareness going to stem from? Because remember, there's a lot of young brothers, young black men that are without fathers.
Well, there's a lot of men, period, without fathers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Even-
put that
you
on
know,
black
Even
people.
to the point of these two young men that lost their lives and it being
Yeah,
raised.
but this, I don't know about the second guy, but the first one definitely had two, or they both had
the
two
first guy,
parents.
the first guy
Yeah,
that did.
two solid
But-
parents.
How old were they?
The parents?
No, the kids.
Like
20
17.
7.
Yeah.
So again, you know,
17.
this is the challenge because awareness in a teenage boy, a 17-year-old, that's a 13-year-old. Like a boy,
Well, see, that's what I'm-
17.
that's
Like,
what
so
I'm-
how do you know when they're out there having a good time? That awareness is a very different thing,
Well, that's what I
especially if they
said.
never
Yeah,
popped up. Like if they
right.
never had an issue, things been cool,
Or,
and we now,
or they ignore certain
or they ignore it because, dude, these are my only friends. If
Well,
I
see,
don't hang
but-
with these
but
guys,
see,
then
that-
who I got to hang with?
Yeah, but see,
Right.
now we're
But
putting
that
things
ain't-
on them that we don't know.
But
I'm not saying that.
But I'm just saying, I'm just pulling
we're
things
not,
up.
we're not.
No, I'm just pulling things up as
He's from that guy's from Mississippi.
I'm just pulling this up as we don't know teenagers. These are very important issues, and you don't know. Like maybe this is my crew, and these guys don't like me because I don't do it. So I have a certain crew, or maybe I really want to be like that
No, I
age.
get what you're saying.
That
I get what
age
you're saying.
group from 13 to 17, 13 to 20 is so volatile. You know that's why you have to guard because people, TV, people, music,
Easily
all
influenced.
influence because especially as a boy, the testosterone hit. My granddad used to say, "Your head jump time," and I even. You daddy stare like Todd, da 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 da, and he'd be like, "What I say?" And I started listening to him, and somewhere it went blank. It just blank, and I'm looking, and I'm all intent, like I'm gonna hear what this man gonna say. Oh, he's like, "Bro, your head jump time. Get it together." And so. And I say that because as a man, black, white, whatever, as a man, when you're between the age of 13 and 17, your head jumps time. You hear one moment, you're not there the next moment. This is going to be a real hard one because when we're talking about what are they going to do, how are they controlling their, I guess, their awareness, how they figuring out if they're the joke or not. That's also a time engraved thing. That's also, and they just not short. Sadly, they don't have the time to learn that. Maybe if they had time, they would have been like, "Whoa, that was a close call. These cats really did me dirty here. I am not doing this again. Or if I see this again, I gotta stop this." They didn't get the chance to realize
Have
that.
those more social
Okay, so let me throw this in here.
Uh-huh.
Have you guys ever in your young life been in a situation or been with a group of guys that something foul happened?
Yes.
And you forgave them?
Yes.
Right, and I'm not talking about, obviously I'm not talking about nothing that amount to death or anything.
Yes.
But just,
And close to it, yes.
Just what?
Yes. No, I'm saying.
Well,
yes.
just a minor transgression, whatever it is. Shaded you on a chick, or
Yes.
fronted you off in front of somebody,
Yes.
or what you know what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
So yeah,
I can say
you
yes
said,
to a
you
lot
know
of
what?
situations.
Yeah. So you were like, you know what, man, it's under the rug. You know what I'm saying? So I guess what I'm saying, I'm trying to bridge what you're saying with the logic of maybe these kids, they have, because I don't believe that it's a one-off.
No.
I don't believe
I agree.
that. But in the dynamics of friends and young people, they say, you know what, yeah, you just said, you call me, not saying they did this, but you call me the nigga, but you're my friend, I'm gonna give you a pass. You were angry or you were mad or whatever, or you didn't mean it, or maybe the person apologized. I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes there could be patterns.
It could be.
You know what I'm saying?
And
That could lead up to something where, because I get what you're saying.
No, I was about to say, they're patterns, but you got to understand a lot, especially in this modern time, patterns are very subtle. If you're not ever to catch it, it slides right through. Like if you don't catch the sly word, it was a sly word, and it's kind of like, it kind of raises a thing like, huh? But it wasn't enough that everybody's like, oh no, he didn't mean that, and you're like, oh no, he, But it's so patterns. Sometimes the patterns are slight. Maybe you don't even realize that this was the first pattern because it was just so easy. You know what? Oh shit, dude, I had $5. Oh man, I'm sorry. You just walked up. I didn't know you was coming. All right, that's all cool. On the first thing, yeah, I did just walk up. I'm number 6. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no worries. I got my own money. I go buy this shit, and now we're all out chilling. You don't, so it's so subtle. Like, people are subtle now. It's very PC. I'll say it's very PC.
And they're missing those social cues, right? And that's to your point, if you're not having enough of those social interactions to be able to be like, okay, it's not as severe as death. Right. But to the point where
I agree with y'all to a certain degree on that, because I'm seeing too many savvy kids doing slick shit to fully buy into that. But I understand you can't have kids that are like that. But let me say this. I remember one time, I don't know, for some reason, this night, my house was the spot. All of who were my friends at the time, talking around about 16, 17, 18 years old, we were in front of my house, at my house. And my best friend at the time had a car. And of course, when you put girls in a dynamic, people get funny, right?
Yep.
So me and my infinite wisdom, trying to impress this girl, I took her for a drive in my friend's car.
Oh.
We didn't go across town or anything, but we kind of joyride in the neighborhood a little bit and came back. Well, I wasn't a very good driver. I think I had just recently learned how to drive. And I did not stop fast enough when I pulled back in front of the house and smacked dead into another car. Ooh. And it wasn't a hard impact, but it sounded better than what it was. And my good friend, whose car it was ready to maul my ass.
Hell yeah.
And another friend told him that he wasn't going to do that, and kind of stopped him or whatever. But this guy, if he would have got to me, he would have tried to stomp me.
Yeah.
Pissed off. And years later, of course, you can understand it. I didn't at the time. It was an accident, but I shouldn't have taken his car.
Right.
So
it's an expensive piece of.
Fast forward, we still remain friends, you know.
He just didn't let you use his car no more.
He didn't learn this lesson.
Mama, give me my keys. Give me my keys, brother.
Well, technically, he didn't let me use his car that time.
See, yeah, that's why he was about to whoop that ass.
Motherfucker stole my car.
He stole my car. And then wrecked it. Dog.
I'll drive, fool. I'll drive.
Put on your throat, dog. No, man. It would have been my Pinto. I'd have had to get you, dog. I'd have had to get you.
What I'm getting at.
You would have wrecked my Pinto? Bruh.
Yeah, something close to a Pinto,
Bruh.
too.
My Pinto was my baby.
It was
you
a
would have
beater.
wrecked my Pinto?
Yeah.
Man.
Somebody catching some hands.
And look, and in the hood, anybody who has any kind of car, I don't care how taped up it is, it's the jewel.
You got it. Yeah. Oh.
But obviously we remained friends and everything. We were still tight after that, after the dust settled and everything.
Yeah.
I forget my point even bringing that up. But I was talking about friendships and how, that could happen when people get mad at each other and you can have this big falling out. But
here's the deal also. We forget that we had a lot of interpersonal interactions. Growing up, we always met in person. Yep. We like me, don't like me, this, that, we always were in person getting these cues. And now you have, if he's 17, your formative years, that was 5 years ago, 11, 12, 10 to 13 was COVID. Mm-hmm. You didn't have interactions. You happy to, now you come out with no interactions at 14, 15, and the world is going. And you like, you still don't get as many interactions as we did. You just do a lot of online, you do a lot of gaming, and then whatever things come out of that, you're here. I think part of it is people also have not had the experience of interactions as much as we've had growing up. We used to interact from 5 years old, I'm on the school bus.
So where does a kid, and I'm not trying to make this racial, I'm just trying to make it relevant to this Mississippi thing. Where do we get, to your point, where do we get to the level we find like-minded people who don't like certain groups of people, or they still find each other? That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, these 4 guys, they were on an island, off Mississippi.
Yeah, party island.
Little social, little party island, whatever. Yeah. So, considering what you're saying about they're doing all this non-interaction, they're still getting together. So there's still kids that are getting together. I know that it's probably less prevalent than it was than when we were kids, but they're still coming outside. They're still jumping off the porch and doing things together and finding their social circles and stuff like that.
The difference,
except for the incel dudes.
The difference is we started jumping off the porch
right
early, and every time we jumped, there was somebody there. Now they might be jumping, but again, we had, let's say, from 8 years old all the way up, we were dicing this up, figuring out how we surviving. Again, 8 years old to whenever was COVID. You wasn't dicing it up. And then all of a sudden, so you have less time with higher stakes. So as we got older, we had things to build off of. You coming right out the house saying, oh, the world. Oh, this is my friend. Like, the build up you did not have because you just didn't get the chance to have experience. I think the generation that's coming next is going to be a lot different because they've been out now, and the buildup of life, the buildup of seeing what's going on, the buildup of being around people is back. That last bit, if you was 17, anywhere between now 17 and 25, you got a lot of stuff missing. You got a lot of stuff missing. 25, that means you was 19, 20, 18. Mm-hmm. Right when shit really getting started, you stuck in the house. 21, you ain't going out drinking. Now all of a sudden at 23, 24, we here. Well, you missed a whole bunch of what nots to do in that time. Mm-hmm. You was 13. You missed a whole lot of how to talk to a girl, how to engage, what this person just said, and now all of a sudden you trying to come out and you like, okay, I think I'm ready. You really ain't ready because you missed a whole block of 3 to 5 years of life and interactions. I'm not saying that could be the thing. I'm just saying, you know, as we talk about these, I always try to put myself and kind of think about what would be the mental state of a kid this time, what that age would put through. You know, did the parents talk about it? But
see, you notice what we're doing here, and this is something that's been going on in the media too. Like, I agree with 25% of what you're saying. No, I'm joking. I believe in most of what you're saying.
That's fine. 25.
25.
That's cool.
Damn.
That's cool.
I believe
What,
most of what
25?
you're saying about that window between 19 and 2004 or 3. I get that, the whole thing that happened. But when there's an instance where these kind of things happen, we're spending a lot of time talking about what the other kid, the victim, we're pathologizing the victim is what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out how to get into the situation.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the crime or the
Alleged?
possible crime that has taken place and focus on that. At the end of the day, it's still a dead kid under some suspect circumstances. And I get the social ramifications and, you know, the agenda, you know, or getting to his head about why was he hanging with these guys, why he was not hanging with these guys or whatever. And, you know, in all fairness, I'll say this against my own argument, that it could have just as well been, you know, all of them could have been the same race, you know, and that could have happened.
Yeah.
You know, but
when you put in race, it changes the game.
Because the reason it changes the game, not just the history, the chain of events that happen afterward.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, the investigation gets suspect. There's a lot of talk about, well, why was he there? And, you know, what state he was in. Was he smoking weed? And what, you don't do that for other people.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about that.
A mother says, my kid is dead. We need to figure this out.
True that.
Well, your kid was a crackhead. Well, it don't matter. He's dead.
Right. He's dead.
Under some foul circumstances here. At the very least, let's do a thorough investigation. If it comes out that that's not the case, and it didn't go down that way, and these kids or the group of kids that my kid was with had nothing. By the way, mothers always think that their kid ain't the leader.
The kid be bad.
He was the head of the snake.
He was following them bad boys.
Leading.
Your kid was the bad boy.
Your kid was the boss. The boss. But no, I see exactly what you're saying. I think, but we were talking because we were trying to just kind of figure out, as a people, what are we saying to our children now that prepares them for life, and especially in situations that aren't necessarily what we experienced growing up. You know, what prepares us, what keeps us our kids out of situations like that, what makes them vigilant in situations like that. And I think that's what we were talking about until we find out what's going on. Now, do we agree that if this is an investigation, we all got our eyes out like, all right, what they doing? What they doing? What they doing? What they doing? Why he, you know, so we looking at that. But
that's the part that makes it suspect when there's a whole system there that is they're not doing due diligence and they're doing funny stuff. Yeah. Which we know it's Mississippi.
It's America. Y'all be behaving in states. I'm like, it's America. It's America.
I get
and I always,
some places are better than others.
If it's something like that, it's gonna happen. I always think, hey, the way I'm raised, it was like that. It was a problem. It was this. You know, this conversation before I try to go all the way there, I was just wondering, like, you know, we're thinking about, okay, because your first question was, what happens to their vigilance? What happens to so that's where we were kind of talking about what might have happened. Who was this
that's
kid?
true. Yeah,
you know,
I did go down that route.
What was this youth? What could have been the factors that allowed him to be in a situation that he lost his life? Now, is it his fault?
From a social circle standpoint, like, you know, sometimes, and adults do it too, we can get kind of, we're in awe because we're in a different circle than maybe our contemporaries are.
Yeah.
And that even, a kid that, you know, a young man that goes to Hollywood and he's seeing You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get like that sometimes. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in this room.
Now that doesn't mean
I'm
you
in
got to
this
be walking
room.
around like Nat Turner all day long or anything like that.
No.
I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that, you know, especially for a place like that, and I get your point that it's America, whatever. But at the same time, times have changed to where we can challenge things on a level that we couldn't do 60 years ago. And we can say, no, 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 you know, and put feet to fire. You go do what you go do.
Yeah.
You know, the kid's mother is a judge in that place. You know, she's got ties with the local law. Yeah, we know all that. But we go blast this thing and get people down here to help to bring awareness, because a lot of this stuff happens in the cloak of darkness, right? So the best that people can do is just shine a light on it and say, hey, this is what's going on down here, and this is what we're trying to do. We need help.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, at the end of the day, it may be that there was nothing foul that happened.
Right.
The
We
kids,
just want
kids
to
probably
know.
just got scared and ran off.
Yeah.
With
Better
his phone.
call-
With his phone.
Better call
But,
Benjamin Crump.
Oh, he's already down there, so I can't.
Better call Crump.
But see,
Crump gonna save the day.
yeah, but that stuff to me don't.
I don't want to say I don't want to make black people mad at me, so I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, I mean, to me, that
say
thing,
Dr.
you know,
Umar.
when you're talking about civil lawsuit,
He don't like me either.
when we-
Sharpton.
He don't like me either.
when you talk about civil stuff,
He don't-
you know, who he don't like?
No, I
course
said.
not.
So he go get you down there.
And I said,
gonna lead the
he
way.
was like, I said, I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want black people to be mad at me. And he was like, and then he was like, Dr. Umar, I said, he don't like me. And then he was like, Sharpton, I was like, he don't like me. And he pointed at you, I was like, he don't like me either. Like, they don't like me. They don't like me. I ain't B1 enough.
Yeah, we don't.
Even though I'm, boy, B1 enough, I ain't B1 enough.
That's darkness.
Yeah, you know, but it ain't enough.
Every brother ain't a brother. But anyway, what I'm trying to say to you was that
Why not? Why, and how does that happen?
you said that. I didn't say it. You said that. I guess I'm not B1. You know.
I mean, because I've been
I
talking,
don't
I'm not
think you
B1
have
enough.
to be switching the subject. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to like a civil rights leader or a particular leader to be considered a pro-black person or a proud black person or just a person who stands, you know, who's in a community. So when you say things like, you know, I guess, I don't know you were joking, but some people really believe that because I'm not down with Al Sharpton, oh, that means you ain't black. I mean, I don't subscribe to that, because if you are a foul person, provided you got facts that a person is foul, then you can't rock with them. I always argue. We had a big conversation last week about, you know, you was mentioning some people and I was throwing some things out there about, you know, I don't care about your skin color. What is your agenda? We're 60 years past you kinfolks thing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, 6 years past
Well,
that,
I'm
and we're
saying
talking about
6.
these kids hanging out in a situation that they was in. Skin folk ain't kinfolk, and I'm past
Well,
the
I'm talking
color.
about political stuff. Now, I'm not talking about somebody getting anybody.
I'm just saying that's all political.
Okay,
I'm just saying, like you
Yeah.
said that
I
though.
don't, but I'm still. But
That
with
is-
that being said, though, I'm still not giving. I'm not giving somebody a pass. Yeah, it's just as horrible if 4 black kids went swimming and one went. 3 came back and 1 didn't under any circumstance, whether they did something to him or not. That's foul, because the first thing any person, other 3 people should be doing is getting some help, calling the police, calling mom and dad, getting somebody down here. Our friend is fucked up, or he's
More
in
than
a
likely,
situation.
that's what's gonna happen, though.
Well, what this my point is, well, yeah, but my point, I'm just trying to play both sides of the fence right now. I'm saying that in any case, that should happen. And if none of that happened, you have to connect the dots. Why didn't that happen? Instead of saying, well, was he smoking weed, or well,
Yeah,
why
no,
would
there
he?
shouldn't be any
why would
question.
he go out there?
I
You
mean,
know?
but
And
that's
things
old school
like that.
thought. Like,
You
why
know?
would he go out there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because you thinking like when I was growing up, I wasn't gonna go out there.
Well, so you
Like
so
I said,
you
I
need-
done broke the rules. Oh, I done broke the rules,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
I done been
So-
swimming at night on the lake with
Thank
white
you.
folks. Like,
Thank you. And I'm not even
don't
saying-
tell my mama.
Motherfucker
Right.
could have
Don't tell my
drowned or
mama.
went missing.
You went. I told somebody if I ever go missing, y'all be sure y'all tell my mama that I did something else. Don't be telling I came out on this boat with y'all at night.
Floated up on the outer banks.
Yeah, y'all better not tell her. Y'all
We
better-
don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You better say something.
Name's Bubba.
He was there and then he wasn't.
You better. I said I was on that boat with y'all. She whiz. Y'all better. I broke all the rules. My mama gonna be like, serve them right. He knew
Here's
what's
his
up.
wallet and his cell phone, but I don't know where it happened to him. He just went on off. He just went off.
Yeah, it might be how they
He
say it.
ran off. But so before we said we was moving on, we came back.
Yeah,
to
we did. I
But-
brought that back. That was
Gotta
my
move
fault.
on. Gotta move on.
It just killed me in the editing. But I
Nah.
want since we're back, this is another element to that I want to add, and this is where I think maybe the crux of that whole thing.
Uh-huh.
There was a girl in the mix,
Yep.
Yeah.
and she wasn't a black girl.
Oh, she was digging
was
that
girlfriend.
chocolate.
So,
So it was a girlfriend, right?
I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah.
but
It was his
definitely
girlfriend?
A girl.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
that
which
harbors.
the one-
That's
Yeah.
a whole nother element.
which means game because y'all women be playing games. Y'all start
Well,
a lot of
I'm
stuff.
not even putting it on her. I'm just saying that could, as a young person, that could breed some kind of animosity.
I ain't gonna say nothing about her, but I'm just gonna mention her.
I'm just saying.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying, but I wasn't saying it like she was.
Yeah, yeah,
the
she's-
point reason it
so
had,
it's
like
fine.
she set him up or anything.
I mean,
I'm just simply saying
I
that
mean-
see, that's what y'all come.
I mean, I'm
But
just
hold
saying.
on, but,
So
but
if y'all
it,
go there
can
with it,
be.
I'm just
Yes,
that dude.
it
I
can-
told
It
y'all.
can
I
be,
come with all
but
these
you
things.
can't
Y'all
preface
go
that
there,
with, I'm not saying she's guilty, or I'm not gonna say anything,
No.
but I'm just gonna mention her.
No,
I
I
ask
mentioned
questions
that
and
because
stuff.
I'm saying that they could have been jealous that he was with a fine white chick.
They could have been.
That's
or,
the point I was coming from.
Or it could have been one of their sisters. Or it could have been a setup and
You
they were
always
playing with
go
this.
deeper with the shit. You always go deep with it, man.
Now, if it come out that it was a sister, I want to own camera. Yo, that chick was a sister. Like,
I was wrong.
I couldn't handle it. He had my sister bent over.
yeah,
I
might be.
walked in and saw.
Yeah, it might have. He told her about it. Oh man, I love your sister.
I forgot to tell her I loved her.
You know, something kind of happened. They kissed on the boat. Like,
it's Mississippi, man.
she might have been like, "Hey
About to
guys,
take
I
her to
got
prom.
I got an idea. Let's set them up." And she like, "Okay," you know.
See,
like,
so now y'all rocking with my.
I always rock with that. I'm just saying that the dude don't. I'm from the South, dog.
I'm from the South too.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll
So
say-
wait, so
I'll
that's
say
always,
this.
That's always the
He
first
ain't
thought.
from the
That's
South.
always
From the
my first
Southwest.
thought. That's always my first thought. Like, oh, got him. You know. And then when you say the
Bible
girl,
Belt
I'm
kid.
like,
I-
ooh.
okay, so
I'm like, ooh, that's
my-
the setup.
My social circle was predominantly black growing up. But people get that twisted when I say that. There's all kind of white folks around because it's really predominantly black and white Louisiana. Not now anymore, but it's predominantly black and white. Black people dealt with white people dealt with black people. Most of the time you dealt with them, most of the time, it wasn't even in college. Definitely wasn't high school. The high schools, when I graduated, was unofficially segregated.
Yeah.
I did not see and it wasn't because there was a mandate for it.
It's just where you go.
Right.
At that age.
Yeah. So I know that there's, I grew up around different types of white people. Cool white people that would give you the shirt off their back, and horrible people. I grew up people that you worked for them, and it was business. It was just straight business. You cut their grass, or they were the manager at work, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was I very seldom ever saw two middle-aged dudes get off from work and hanging and chilling together, one black and one white. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was mostly like you stayed in your
Yeah, you all- that's what you did, yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there were race riots happening or anything like that.
That only happened at the integrated schools.
In the state though, there is a lot of backwoods places, and I'm sure you live in a state that's got a lot of kind of
You know where not to go.
crannies and
You know where
stuff.
not to go.
Right? Don't get caught slipping. Right?
You know.
Or maybe you can free to go in and out about it if you want. Don't do nothing stupid.
That's the other one.
You know, don't get caught trying to steal somebody's shit. Don't get
keep
caught
that shit real easy.
picking a fight with somebody.
Yeah.
Don't get caught, you know, and even if you got in a fight with somebody, oh, God bless you. You know,
Yeah. Hope you
we
didn't-
can't get to you fast enough.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
So, I mean, I get all that, but there was still, and I know it's a different time, but it was still an awareness. And even with the awareness, you could still get caught slipping. Look what happened in Texas about 30 years ago when those two white guys caught that brother. They were grown people.
Yeah.
And they drug him. You remember that?
Yeah, I
I
do
don't want to
remember
get
that.
graphic about it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there was many incidents similar to that, but I'm just saying that's just one.
That's the one that got caught.
stuck
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
You know, so and that was one of those situations where you in a nook and cranny. It was Texas, but you in a nook and cranny somewhere.
Yeah.
Where there ain't enough people to say, hey, what y'all doing over there?
I'd have been there, and but
Yeah.
you know, but our
see
awareness was different. Like you said, I had two.
That
social
brother
circles.
wasn't aware.
I had two social circles at school. It was white kids because I was put in this class, and at home it was black, and it was such a challenge trying to work my two circles because I realized I could never fit in any circle completely. I could slide a little bit hood. Mom ain't having that. I could slide a little bit white. We ain't got enough money for that. And so I learned how to kind of flow. So my circles were different. Like I said, high school was easy. Well, actually middle school and stuff, because I had to really learn how to make my whole circle black. And then you learn there's a lot of nuances with black. You know, when I rolled to school, it was project kids and it was rich white folks.
And see, and that's
so it was a whole different thing. And then all of a sudden, middle school, I'm going to school with fucking really well-to-do, smart black kids and this, and I got to learn how to dress, and everybody's cool, and where I'm a duck and pin to push over here. I ain't know what the fuck was going on. It took me years to get that shit together. But coming out, you know, because I had that growing up, you know what's going on South. You know, once I got out as an adult, there was a word. I find myself in places that I'm the only one. I remember there was this guy, I was working in Dun and Bradstreet, and it was this white guy. And I remember we walked in, we didn't like each other. It was just instant, like, yeah, who is you? Like it was, and what it was, and now that I'm an adult, it was clear that we both thought we was the top dog. So we had a problem. But as the class went on and we realized, oh shit, I think we need to be cool. We both was like, because they was reading and doing stuff, and we like, I'm looking at these cats reading like, he looking like, and we look at each other like, Before you know it, we became really cool. It was that's when Remember the Titans came out, so it was kind of unique that we roll like that. I remember he wanted to run for office and stuff. But long story short, I go to this restaurant, and I'm like, I know this restaurant. I was just back in G-Boro. I'm like, oh man, but I'm gonna go out here. I walk in, and you talking about the brothers only, like the good boys, the good folks, or what was it? The good boys,
The good old boys.
good old boy. Yeah. So I roll in. It's a place out in Greensboro. It's on the north side, out on Battleground, you know. And I roll in, and it's rich. It's preppy little white boys all sitting around. They girls and shit. And my black, but it was me, and it was one black girl, cute, that was hanging with all her friends or whatever, and that she was just in. And I remember I roll in, he sees me, I roll up. First thing is everybody look because I roll in. Second thing, they look because he invites me back to the old men's section. So now I roll back to the real good old boys where I roll in and they like, and then and they just like, and it was cordial, you know, hey, I know what the game is. I had one drink, awareness. Finished my drink. He's like, no, dog, I got something I got to do. Two things. I'm not, one, getting drunk with all these people and get stuck in here. And two, I remember these cats when my grandfather was a contractor, and I know these guys, and they was not the ones that I need to be around.
Right.
So awareness made me breathe. But these things have happened quite a bit with me because I tend to just kind of pop up and shit. I'm like, fuck, I'm going here. Oh, I'm gonna be a part of this. But the awareness was there. I think what we got to figure out as we go is how do we keep that awareness for our people? How do we move it forward to what our new standards are? Because it's not the same old. We got it because it was life. We knew you can't trust it. It wasn't even there. So how do we move this awareness or this thought we saying of awareness forward to the new times, to where you have kids that might be like I talk to people out here. They like, we had 3 black kids in our school growing up. 3 black kids? Y'all don't know nothing about black people. And what's up with these kids? They had to have it rough because who is they gonna hang with?
But see, I agree. And great story, by the way.
Yeah, you was about to sleep.
Great
I saw
story.
you.
No, I didn't even nod that time.
No, your eyes was shut
It was
though.
good.
You
because
held on.
I think
Thank
that
you.
we have similar. I think we have similar experiences.
Yes.
But the one difference is where I grew up, there weren't a lot of rich white people. There were middle class or low class white people, just working class people. It wasn't of course there's always a rich family somewhere or well-to-do family, a political family.
Yeah.
But it stems from that residue from the racial lines that regardless of whether you poor or not, the racial line is there.
Yeah.
So, you could go to a white school, but it wasn't going to be just all rich kids. You know what I'm saying? It'd just be working class, middle class, low class, white kids, white school. You see what I'm saying?
So I think because I guess I don't explain enough. Like my neighborhood, it was mostly black, but at that time we had white families, and yes, it was a racial line. We got along, but then at the time, but it's a racial line. And when I say school, the reason we were bused it would be like bus to Arcadia or PCDS.
There's a lot of buses.
So there was there were different type of poor and all that. Yeah. When I talk about that, I was the first black, like the only black that got moved to an advanced gifted class. And so that was a fight in itself.
You just had to throw that in there.
No, I'm just saying that's what it was. and so the kids that were in there were affluent kids.
Yeah, right. That was your experience.
So that's when I ride the bus here, I get in a regular class and it's everybody, and then all of a sudden I'm put in this class here.
And then the milk cart and the egg just plop on your head as you walk.
I ain't had that happen. I ain't gonna put no trash cans either. They ain't do that.
Damn.
That's messed up, dog. But no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But but that was so yeah, I saw that. But the bulk of that day was sitting in there with these kids, the fire chief's son, the plastic surgeon's son, the Jewish family's kid, the financial guy.
How old were you?
I was ages 7 to what's 5th grade.
So did your mama send
11?
you in a suit and no bow tie on? You were sitting.
No, I didn't have to do that.
You were sitting in the class.
No, we didn't have to do all that.
With your good hard shoes.
No, I was just smart. I was a smart kid. I ain't do the nonsense.
Okay, man.
I was a smart kid.
You're trying to step on my joke. All right.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was. I was
What you trying to
like I was gonna let you get that one on me.
I'm step on my joke.
I'm listening to your story, and I'm listening to his story.
Like I'm gonna let you
Y'all
get that
had
weak joke on
similar
me.
stories.
Yeah.
Y'all grew up in the South.
Yeah,
It's the
it was
same
very
shit.
similar.
It's nothing like that here.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah.
It was
It was more Hispanic and white.
all.
Yeah. So as a black kid, I think it's even harder to navigate.
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't know where I fit. I mean, I had this Mexican friend. Anthony was his name. Jerry was another one. That was it. There wasn't no other black kid in my class.
Yeah.
Maybe in the school besides my brother. Maybe, but it wasn't.
So let me ask y'all this. Does it matter how many black kids you see in a class or Hispanic, whatever,
Right.
or whoever the minority is, to just be decent?
No.
Decent.
Yeah, that's a blanket. I'm just using that, decent, because there are people who say, I behave the way I do because I ain't never been around no black people before. I mean, what about the human element of it? It doesn't matter whether they're black, white, or green. Just be decent.
I think it does matter because it puts a little extra pressure on you, and it also puts where it gives you the variety of people. Where, like you say, hey, if it's only one and you transgress, they probably gonna let that slide because, fuck, that's 30 people that I gotta try to take care of. If it's 10, it's a little bit more like, yo, dog, especially if y'all halfway cool. Yo, dog, you talking about us like that? It's a little bit more favorable odds to say we don't like the way you talking. You know, so yes, it changed the dynamics of how people react.
Yeah, but
and act.
in certain
That's-
circumstances, in a lot of circumstances, and you said this earlier, the only difference between me and you is my skin color, but we talk the same.
Yeah.
You mentioned we
Yeah.
like the same stuff.
Yeah.
There is no difference between you and I other than you're black and I'm white, or you're
That's when you learn
Hispanic and I'm
people.
brown.
That's when you learn individuals. But I always tell y'all, individuals are smart. Groups, not so much. So if you have a group and it's just one, somebody in there or the group gets very emboldened.
Of course.
So
you got groupthink, you got mob mentality.
So again, when you have a little bit more to balance those numbers, it settles down a little bit because that means you can get these hands, you can get these hands, and you can get these hands. We might not beat all of y'all, but it's 10 of y'all that's about to get something.
That can go
and,
around
and,
too.
and 5 of them 10 really don't want that smoke. So wait, that's not. And then they start thinking, well, mom didn't do that. It also gives people the opportunity to speak up a little more because now the numbers, hey guys, y'all shouldn't talk like this. We don't talk. My mom told me color doesn't mean it is. So this white guy's standing up with it because
You always have that one brave white kid that does that, dude. You know what I'm saying?
it's one brain that's like, hey
But
guys,
Mark said, I ain't never met one.
it's always one somewhere in there. But
There's always,
Y'all
again,
experiences-
there's always
but
one
look,
rebel that don't care.
Y'all's
man.
experiences is different.
if the numbers aren't there, the white kid ain't gonna say that. Why are you gonna say protect one and go against 50? He's thinking the same thing. Dog, we ain't gonna get our butts whooped. I'm gonna go sit over here and be quiet. I'll talk to you on the playground. You figure that out. Hey man, I'm sorry they treated you like that, and y'all go play. He ain't about to say something up in this thing because that's just a little bit too much social pressure.
Yeah.
And this black kid, if he by himself or Hispanic, whatever, ain't gonna say too much because that's a little bit
Well,
too
no,
much.
no, I get that. Yeah,
Number
I understand
pressure.
that. I mean,
So-
that happens.
so yes,
that happens
numbers-
among same groups.
Yes.
You know,
So
like-
numbers do matter when you're talking about how things are balanced out. That's why we talk about politics and racial minorities and majorities because things work a little different. Now, if it was equal, it might be a lot more fighting, but things work a little different because the pressure balances out a little bit more. You know?
Yeah, but I think that, and I agree with what you're saying. Damn, I agree with a lot of what you're saying tonight. But there is a caveat to that.
Uh-oh.
And
There we go.
you can't just toss in the towel because those are the dynamics. That is still a human being suffering that's going through something that has just as much right as for representation and protection as anybody else.
I agree.
So, and we spend a lot of time talking about kids because this thing happened to some teenagers, and we're talking about their world and things like that. I don't purport to understand. I mean, I haven't been to a high school in a long time, so I don't know what's going on. I could imagine that most things are the same because a lot of things don't change, but it is a different time. And I just go through my lens, what I see when when I'm on social media or when I'm listening to people talk about their stories and things like that. There's a lot of similarities to it, but the caveat is that I grew up in a school where it was predominant junior and senior high school, predominantly black kids, right? Predominantly all black.
Yeah.
Fucking probably 99%.
We had 95, I think. 98.
But and whenever there was a white kid, to my knowledge, the white kid doesn't get picked on.
Not the same,
We
yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever the reason is, we don't do that. We'll find Rayshon to kick ass at the end of the class before we mess with the little white kid.
we not gonna be, yeah, we're
Little
not gonna
Timmy,
jump
leave
off-
Timmy alone, man. Don't beat him up.
Yeah, like,
You know, but I had a rough time in junior high school.
me too.
And and I'm not saying it because they were black, because we all were black, but I'm saying like I had a rough time in high school.
My social
Almost had
cues
to
was
fight.
off.
I almost had to fight almost every day.
I know, right?